A View on Digital Transformation and the Need for Creative Construction by Valentine de Stoop. The Industrial Revolution transformed the economy from agriculture and artisanship into mass production and industry. The world's population boomed. Scientific progress generated endless new technologies. The increase in productivity that followed led to an unprecedented wealth and economic globalization. With the rise of computers and the internet, the digital economy was born. 20 years ago, we saw the first portable phones. Today, the world-leading R&D and innovation hub IMEC is developing digestible nanosensors to monitor the health of our inner bodies. Things are moving fast, and the pace is quickening. The digital transformation of society is changing the way we learn, work, travel, shop, and communicate with one another. EU research points out that almost 75% of the EU population think that digital technologies have a positive impact on their lives. More and more people are not only using tech, they are also building more technology. The digital market is estimated to create opportunities in the hundreds of trillions of euros. Data shows that there are over 5.5 million people in the EU alone that are employed as developers, with 350,000 open positions for technical experts at this very moment. Every year, more and more business executives make the jump from traditional non-tech companies to the digital space. On the other hand, predictions argue that because of the digital transformation, 25 to 45% of all jobs will be subject to automation by 2025. The digital transformation is fueled by a series of disruptive technologies that open the doors to new markets. Think of artificial intelligence and robotics, virtual reality and entertainment, blockchain and trustless transactions, the Internet of Things, and 5G. Driverless cars and intelligent home robots are no longer science fiction. Supercomputing, deep tech, and the exploration of quantum computing holds huge promise. Cloud technologies allow everyone anywhere to plug into a world-class infrastructure in minutes. Many of the true functions of these technologies have yet to manifest themselves, just like the internet in the 80s. It is only in hindsight that we can understand the true impact of these innovations. The cost of technology is dropping, and the adoption of digital services becomes global. This has led to a surge in technology-driven entrepreneurship and the emergence of startups, scale-ups, and unicorn companies with digital business models. Only recently, a Chinese report came out stating that China is now the world leader in terms of the number of unicorns, with a staggering 206 blockbusters that are valued over 1 billion euros after less than 10 years of operations. Sometimes these tech stars create a completely new market, like Apple did when they introduced the Macintosh, the iPhone, and the app economy. At other times, the new generation takes on big corporations in existing markets. We all know the story of Airbnb, which became more valuable than Hilton hotels in a matter of years without investing a single euro in real estate. And it was only a few weeks ago that we heard the news about the bankruptcy of the Thomas Cook travel agency, an industry leader since 1841. The travel agent missed the digital train. The creative destruction brought upon older business models manifests itself in many forms. In the US, observers speak about a retail apocalypse with the rise of e-commerce and the success of companies like Amazon and Zalando. Shopping streets become ghost streets. People buy less and less in physical retail stores because they prefer to buy it cheaper online. Old retailers with brick-and-mortar outlets seem to have two options: embrace digital or go down. The successful online retailers are making the reverse movement. They started out with a digital-first strategy and are now opening brick-and-mortar service centres. It will be interesting to see how these ghost streets are repurposed over the next couple of years. In Schumpeter's own words, the old way of shopping is destroyed, only to give birth to a new one. In the not-so-distant future, we will be interacting with a digital government that provides automated technology platforms to inform, service, and consult its citizens for all its responsibilities. Political leaders become experts in analysing big data to formulate political campaigns. Governments provide access to new sources of public and open data, allowing citizens to analyse societal problems and come up with innovative proposals for policymakers. Examples such as Estonia's e-residency are leading the way. Companies like Google and Facebook know a lot of really personal things about their users, and even the biggest finds in history do not stop them from sharing user data with third parties at a profit. Google and Facebook control the data, but also the money. Both companies are in the top 5 of highest capitalized companies in the history of the world. With the rise of blockchain, experts believe that we now have the technology to decentralize the ownership of mainstream applications. The truth, however, is that the adoption of decentralized applications is moving slowly, for now. Business projects in the future can be sourced by networks, funded by crowds, and insured with peer-to-peer models. There has been a lot of emphasis on technology innovations for the past 20 years, but the concept of business model innovation might even become more powerful in the future. Eventually, all technology becomes a commodity. Once technology is cheap and available to everyone, the true value is in the user-generated content on these platforms. With the concept of tokens, every user can earn an income from sharing their knowledge, art, or content. In general, technology platforms will no longer be VC-backed privately held companies, but blockchain-based applications owned by their users in the form of cooperatives, networks, and crowds. In this world with constantly changing paradigms, the old corporations are monuments of the golden years of capitalism. In the 1950s, the average lifespan of an S&P 500 company was about 60 years. Today, it's under 20 years. The old bureaucratic corporations are slowly but steadily being unbundled and replaced by nimble technology entrepreneurs. Some corporations are rapidly changing course and adopting concepts like open innovation, whereby they build disruptors for their own business, team up with entrepreneurs, or buy digital startups that are of strategic interest. Because the big corps have data and capital, they can move into new digital markets while building on their existing capabilities. The question corporate asks themselves is, what is the direction in which this ship needs to go? The market is changing fast, and competitors pop up from unexpected corners. Over the past decennia, established corporates have launched massive digital transformation programs. Their goal is to leverage new technologies to automate processes, improve existing services, and take a piece of the new digital markets that are emerging with every profound technology revolution. Authors like Clayton Christensen, Steve Blank, and Carlota Perez have created new business paradigms that are widely implemented by business consultants in strategy firms all over the world. These strategy firms are also adapting to the digital economy and changing how they work. Many prominent design agencies and development studios are incorporated in business firms rather than delivering strategic reports. They now build prototypes and run experiments to validate them in the market. It's interesting to see that the digital transformation itself can be broken down into different stages of maturity. At first, a digital strategy meant the adoption of ICT and selling some products online. Later, entire organizations and all processes were migrated to the cloud. In a third stage that is happening or about to happen, companies realize that they have to compete with many new smaller competitors in the niche markets. So they have to organize themselves like networks of microservices and adopt a culture of acting like a tech startup. Move fast and keep up with the competition, or become irrelevant. One can argue that IBM, Intel, and Hewlett-Packard were disrupted by Amazon, Google, and Alibaba. A digital transformation futurist might argue that we can expect that these tech giants will become unbundled and democratized by technology itself. The decentralization of cloud services through blockchain technology is well underway. 10 years ago, everybody was thinking about digital profit. Today, more and more organizations are also talking about a digital planet and digital people. With the ongoing debates about climate change and the robotization of the workforce, questions are asked about sustainability of the assumptions of endless economic growth. All things equal, despite the democratization of digital technologies and near worldwide internet access, there is still a lot of poverty and inequality in the world. Climate change predictions argue that by 2050, there will be global shortages of water and huge pieces of land will become uninhabitable. There are voices calling for change, such as the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, aiming to provide new ways of thinking about innovation and corporate social responsibility. Today, on October 22nd of 2019, there are global warnings of a food shortage, water shortage, and a risk of a cholera outbreak for 17 million people in Yemen. Human technologies, social innovation, and data-driven action can save lives. Amidst all these societal developments, there are individuals and companies that try to help other organizations and leaders in their journey towards digital transformation. Sometimes we are asked the big questions like, where is my industry going, and what are the trends that I should pay attention to? At other times, we work with teams looking to learn about innovation and how to think like a startup. Over the years, many new methodologies and approaches to digital transformation have been introduced. If you Google digital transformation best practices, you'll find endless reports and testimonies. The reason for making this reflection is because the term digital transformation is high on the hype cycle, and many people are still figuring out the frameworks, tools, definitions, and models to guide them. I wanted to better understand myself and hope that by sharing this, you also got some new inspiration and insights. Real digital transformation within our organizations and society is not loud, but happens silently when business as usual is getting normal and slow. Fast learners jump ship, and a lot of people continue down the old path until the inevitable is there. In the meantime, digital giants are building the global infrastructures of tomorrow, and many fast companies are redefining industries. Slowly but surely, technologies such as artificial intelligence are climbing up the ladder of human capabilities. So I think a bit of humbleness is in place. Leaders cannot look into the future. They can only bring clarity and vision, build structures that facilitate and support people, relocate energy of their highly skilled teams, and bet boldly on the future. Because in my world, we are still building the systems to be truly open and connected. But after all those years, humanity proved that there is a science and art of entrepreneurship that can reduce risk and bring positivity in building towards the future. Thank you for spending time with me, and I hope you found some inspiration and insights. If you encourage this kind of content, please like or share. Kind regards, Valentine.